Welcome back, and Happy New Year 2026. Year the Fire Horse. This is Ann Hayes, aka Mama G, co-creator, as I always say, along with the prime creator of Fiercely Fulfilled Feminine, where I help twin flames to heal sexual trauma, reclaim their power, and experience true fulfillment through what I call the sacred sexuality reclamation method. Now, today's topic, yes, we are going to get back to it. Money. What does money, masculine energy, sex, twin flames all have to do with each other? It has everything and anything. I'm about to share with you something even more in depth that may surprise you and at the same time enlighten you on this journey. Yes. Ooh, so let's get right to it. First of all, you may or may not be aware that money is, I got a 20 right here. This is US, it's a masculine energy. Do you appreciate your own masculine energy? Do you appreciate your divine counterpart, your divine masculine, your divine feminine? Okay. Again, backing it up, money is masculine energy. It is an energy, it is a currency, and it is meant to provide, to protect, to support, to be utilized in creation and expansion of dreams, projects, visions. So you see where I'm going with this. Money is God, love is God, sex is God. Divine masculine is God, divine feminine is God. It is all of God source energy. So, yeah, we're going to get to it. We're going to talk about sex, okay? Absolutely. We're going to talk about 3D sex versus 5D sex. We're going to talk about, in other words, sex within the matrix of false illusions, illusions of separation and whatnot, the false matrix, if you will, versus sex in what I call the divine matrix, which is it all truly is about frequency. You don't need to go somewhere, be somewhere. It's really just the frequency with which you are aligning. So you could be living in the same neighborhood as someone who's experiencing 3D sex, and yet you're experiencing divine sex. Let me back up for a moment. You do not have to be in physical reunion in order to experience divine sexual pleasure. I'm just saying it's a solo opportunity first, journey first, to be able to devote yourself back to you in a divine way, to money, to your own inner divine masculine, to pleasure, to sex, to all of it. Okay, so this is unfolding just as it's unfolding. So stay with me, stay with me. So, first of all, let's break this down. 3D sex, right? It's patriarchal. Okay, the focus is male centered, it's linear, it's direct, it's about domination, really. It's about power, it's about control. It's goal oriented. Let me get to that orgasm. It's performance driven. How many times can I get my female partner or my partner? It might not be female, it could be any partner of any gender to come, to orgasm, to reach, to peak. Okay. And it's quick, it's fast, it's linear. Let's go. In fact, I've mentioned this before that it takes less than 5 minutes, if even that, for a man with a penis to be able to reach full, to become fully sexually aroused. Whereas with a woman, in order for her full erectile network to become aroused, it can take up to 20 minutes. So you can see there's a little discrepancy right there. 3D sex, however, doesn't allow for that. Let's see, it's validation through performance, and it's where the size and the girth of the penis seems to matter. Objectification, superficial, physical attributes is all about 3D sex. It's false empowerment. In fact, sex and money and power are often intricately intertwined. They are in both the false matrix and the divine matrix. However, within the false matrix, they become intertwined in a way that is self-serving, in a way that does cannot sustain itself as far as in a healthy relationship that equates with beautiful, healthy sexual relations. And so, because money is a masculine energy, you're going to find that those who operate from a predominantly masculine energy in general, men in particular, are able to more easily come up with the money, so to speak, at least initially. And yet, usually the way it's done, if it's done within the 3D, and if there's still wounding and trauma, it is not necessarily aligned with integrity. It's not necessarily aligned with a person's or a man's true values or true authenticity or true self. And it is often done it can be done in a manipulative way where there's such a drive to make money and to make more and more money that it's more self-serving than also balancing that out with the collective. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's the same thing with sex. There's no true intimacy. There's no true depth in 3D sex. It's just what it is. Okay. So money. Again, money is meant to support, provide, protect. Protect, provide, support the dreams, the visions, the projects. It is deeply connected to sex. It is deeply connected to one's self-worth. It is deeply connected to one's ability to open and to be present and devoted to oneself and the partner, and to really embrace God and the divine in the experience. Okay. So in 3D, like I said, it's about power. So, okay. So if you have experienced as a twin flame sexual trauma in particular, what that's going to do is hijack your system. Now, if you are in predominantly feminine energy, it's not always if you're female or male, it's not always gender specific, but depending on your wounding and how your wounding occurred, because there is a difference. For me, when I think of twin flames and I think of divine masculine, divine feminine energy, I look at the way the wounding happened. And there is a difference because um, masculine energy is about the need for control. At least when the trauma occurs, it's about the need for control. It's about super independence. It's about wanting certainty, and it's in every way and doing whatever needs to happen to help to provide for oneself and one's own needs, because those things didn't happen. So I'm not going to get into I did another video around this. I'm not going to get into in this one too deeply as far as how this shows up energetically. Whereas the divine feminine tends to be the one that's more disempowered in every way. In other words, I don't think I can do it. I'm not sure. That worthiness is felt, is felt. In other words, it's not pushed down. It is truly felt, and it is shown in the reality as extreme financial struggle and challenges, okay? And that's again due to the hijacked sexual energy and to the nature of the trauma and how it has shown up. Whereas again, going back to the false empowerment is saying, okay, I can do all this, I can make all this money, kind of pushing down and suppressing the the trauma and the pain associated with that trauma, because the validation comes externally through money. And that's where someone with that kind of trauma is going to get their worth from. Either way, it's an issue around self-worth. There's trauma involved that's looking to be healed. And so there are going to be challenges around money, whether it's lack of, whether it's like inconsistency, or whether it's not earned in alignment with one's true self. So 3D trauma, all those overlays, money is going to be a challenge. And healing that is either going to, if you're falsely empowered around money, is either going to see money just leave your experience as you learn to align with more integrity within the 5D and earning money, aligned with your true divine blueprint. Or it might be, you know, it's just not showing up just yet, but it will. Trust me, it will. And of course, there's always a mix of those energies as well as I engage. I don't want to say work with. I'm very mindful about my words. As I engage and co-create and facilitating the transformation of different clients, and right now it's women with whom I engage. I have found that it can be a mix as well. That there can be so many overlays of trauma that this kind of a mix of those energies where it's like a little bit of a false empowerment and also the disempowerment. If that makes sense, it's not black and white. And so that's something to keep in mind as well. If you are a twin flame on this journey, it's not always black and white. However, from my experience and my observation, I see it certain times, a certain dominant showing up as far as the energy goes. So, um, money. Okay, we talked about sex, we talked about money, twin flames. Twin flames in general, there are going to be issues with money. Either you're making a lot of money, like I said, you're doing it in a way that's not aligned with your integrity, or you're making a lot of money, but it just keeps seeming to disappear for whatever reason. Either you've got a spending challenge or an addiction, or you just give it away too much because it's almost transactional, like you give it in exchange because you're hoping that maybe you'll get more love somehow. Okay, so there's that element as well. So yeah, now let's go to sex in the 3D from the female aspect of it, and we could say feminine energy. I'm looking at the kind of the female parts when I share this is within the patriarchal system. The woman has been submissive, and to be honest, she's been manipulative as well, because there are a lot of women who fake orgasms and haven't really truly been satisfied, so fully satisfied in their sex life, because they've kind of been trained or indoctrinated or programmed to believe that they are here to feed the male ego, who's, to support the man. The man is the one that provides and protects. They're the leader, which is really not true if it's unfolding within trauma. And so there are many women who will fake. I personally have never faked an orgasm. Okay, I just have never done that. So because of that, the man, typically the one with the penis, okay, or in a same-sex relationship, the one with the more dominant masculine energy, may feel may not feel safe, like they've been manipulated, they've been deceived. Okay, is my partner having an orgasm right now, or are they faking it? Are they being real? Do they really love me? Do they really care? So you can see the problems that are happening on both sides, and their indoctrination has been, okay, they have to perform. They have to do this, they have to do that, because if they don't, they're not worthy enough. See what I'm getting at? Worth, money, appreciation. Okay. Masculine energy needs to be appreciated. Money asks to be appreciated. Are you appreciating your divine counterpart? Are you, as a divine feminine in particular, appreciating your divine masculine? Are you appreciating your all twin flames? Are you appreciating the divine, your inner divine masculine? That inner child that says, I'm here, love me, appreciate me, I exist, I matter. Are you appreciating that? And think about all the masculine energy in your life. How is it showing up? Are you appreciating that masculine energy? Because if you're not, it's gonna just walk away. It's going to feel rejected. And that's what happens with money, which is a masculine energy. It can start to feel rejected and unappreciated. Remember, everything has consciousness and sentience. Okay. Are you using me to control, to dominate? Do you truly appreciate me? Are you present with me? Are you loving with me? Do you care about me? Do you think about how you want to create and expand with me? Same thing with sex. Do you want to get real deep and intimate? Money's sexy. Love is sexy. God is sexy. It is divine. And yet when it's treated in a divine way, It shows up in a beautifully divine way in many, many ways. Okay? And that's been my experience. So let's see. Blocking, blocking, first of all, blocking energetically, blocking a person, whatever, you're blocking all the goodness that love has to offer. If you're blocking a divine counterpart, whether energetically or physically, you're shutting down parts of you that it's not open to receive. And yet, if this is happening, maybe it's meant to be happening at this point. Maybe you're not ready yet for that unblocking because you're protecting the ability of that connection to sustain itself. So I want to be really mindful here. However, if you're watching this right now, you're meant to, and if there is blocking and there is an energetic inability to commit, let's go back to the twin flames. If you have not yet fully opened and committed to your divine counterpart, which begins with you being self-accountable and committing to your own healing and transformation and to healing and harmonizing your own masculine and feminine polarities within you and your sexual energy, then you may be ready to do that. That's interesting that I'm coughing during that. Okay, so full commitment begins with you and your own inner masculine and your own inner feminine energy, harmonizing with, and it's a big part of what I do and what I've become good at because I've had a lot of practice and I have a really heightened awareness of the patterns that show up and how they can be recoded. So, and yeah. So with that being said, healing, what it automatically does for both divine counterparts is it softens the body. It regulates the nervous system. It allows one to build an inner sense of safety. It allows one to begin to trust themselves. Can I trust that I am going to have the boundaries when I need them? Can I trust that I can determine whether or not this connection, any kind of connection is self-serving, is it manipulative, or is it truly mutually beneficial? Is this the kind of energy or frequency that I wish to allow into my life? So it's really about being honest with oneself. What do you truly feel about your divine counterpart? How do you truly feel about your own experience in your reality right now? Do you feel lonely, depressed, like you don't matter and you're not important? Do you feel rejected? Do you feel like abandoned? Do you feel betrayed? Now, first of all, if you do, it's okay because that's part of the path. The second step is, what do you do about it? How do you heal that? And how do you move beyond those types of frequency feelings so that you can start to open up and experience something different? Feelings of connectedness, beginning with you, yourself, and your own body in a truly present, peaceful, devotional way, because that's divine marriage. That's divine sex. That's divine money, divine masculinity, divine femininity. And so if you find yourself struggling with money in particular right now, with struggling with being able to be fully present, let's say just with yourself sexually, maybe you've experienced some sexual triggers with your divine counterpart, but let's bring it back to you. Let's bring it back to you. Where is it within yourself that you may not be fully present? Where perhaps are there some blocked energy channels, blocking currency in general, blocking money? Do you see what I'm saying? Blocking refers to a lot of different things. The ego will say, oh my God, I'm rejected, I'm abandoned. That's the trauma overlays. And the ego will say, oh my God, why is this happening? I'm blocked. There's no communication. I'm rejected. I've been abandoned. I'm afraid. I'm afraid of love. If you're afraid of love, then you're afraid of God. You're afraid of money. And you are going to push it away. I know, because I've been there. And I'm still navigating that because it's not like it's just spontaneous, happens overnight. But guess what? You'll start to notice the difference. And when do you notice that difference? You notice the difference when you start to rebalance, especially that pelvic area, when you start to recognize the sacredness of sex, when you realize and you feel and experience the fact that sexual energy is the creative force of the universe and it's connected to money, to love, to romance, to God, to everything. Everything. So sacred sexuality is about first understanding that, what that all means, how to access blocked sexual energy, then how to direct and channel it so that you become more confident. You begin to cultivate healthy pleasure within yourself. You become more present. You become more grateful. You become more appreciative of everything. Then you start to be able to create in a way you haven't before. You begin to manifest in a way you haven't been able to before. Your intuition bumps up tenfold. You begin to take all those beautiful intentions and you're able to root them because you need to bring that in and embody it. And it needs to allow to take root within that pelvic region in order for it to become fully manifest. And that's where you need both the masculine and the feminine energies, and they need to be harmonized. So that's what sacred sexuality is all about. And you get there by healing the mother wound, by healing the father wound, by healing that inner child, by healing those abandonment wounds, by feeling it fully, all of it, reconnecting to all of life, to you, to God, to your divine counterpart, to money. It is about reconnecting because God is everything. So that's when I say I'm here to help you heal sexual trauma. That's and reclaim your power. That's what it's about because that's where your real power is. And that's how you truly become fulfilled. And you start to feel fulfilled just because the flow is back and your vitality starts to uptick. And you start to experience more of what God is. You are God. You are a creation of God. So what does divine sex look like? That's bringing all people who are connected and especially divine in partnership, they're rocking it and they're doing well. They may still be working through some challenges because some heal more in partnership and that's okay, but that flow's coming in. That's what love does. That's what deeper love does. That's what alignment does. That's what divine love does. Okay, so yeah, until that's healed, you will block the ability to manifest to your full potential. So learn to appreciate yourself, your own shadow, your own fertilizer, as in all your trauma. Appreciate the triggers, which are activations. Appreciate the path, the journey, the increased awareness. So here, let's see what we got here. What do I have here? Okay, so sexual energy will have a different significance in the divine matrix when healing happens with an increased desire for intimacy, deeper connection. It's about presence. It's about devotion. It's about self-acceptance. It's about unconditional love. It's about openness. It's about integrity, vulnerability. It begins with you first. Those who show up with me are willing to begin to be vulnerable. They're willing to begin to open up and melt those blocks, to freeze that, melt that frozen energy, to sit in their humility, to increase their level of awareness, to go deeper into the shadow and to feel it fully, as uncomfortable as that may be. So there it is. Sex, money, masculine energy, twin flames. It is all connected, all connected. Now, if you've been on this journey and you're still here, beautiful. It is not an easy path. Some twin flame journeys have extreme polarities. Working through a number of, trauma overlays. I'm going to ask you to stay committed, to stay consistent, to stay humble, to honor yourself for choosing this, because you are strong and resilient and you're able to do this, and for showing up so that you can help anchor in new relationship codes on this planet. Your role is critical, very critical. So stay in it, because the most beautiful intimacy, the most beautiful sex is yours. The most abundant, prosperous life full of money, support, guidance, fulfillment, all of it. Friendships, you name it, connection, the experience of God in your life is there for you. Now, I know many who I've walked this path with, and they've kind of walked away from the path. They're either looking for a high-level soulmate, they may have chosen one, they may have said, I'm done with my divine counterpart. Guess what? I've been there. I've been there. No more. The reason I'm showing up here now, and the reason why I've experienced a dramatic shift in my life in many ways right now, even more so recently, is because I am fully committed. I am fully open and receptive to my own divine counterpart. I am fully committed to the complete harmonization of my divine masculine, divine feminine energies. And I'm being shown it everywhere in my external reality, and it's a beautiful thing. Because guess what? You get to create your reality. If you let your ego do it, your ego is going to have you walking away. Your ego is going to tell you, no, this is not for my benefit. No, this is betrayal once again. No, this is not what I want. No, I'm going to walk away because I deserve something better. Instead, when you create it, you're from your soul, your heart, because this is your one true love and you know it, then you say, okay, what is this showing me? What is it that I still need to look at within myself, where I'm still learning how to love? Because you want to be able to evolve through love, not fear. It's time to evolve through love. And evolving through love doesn't mean that you're necessarily doing it in physical reunion just yet for some of you. It's evolving through love for your divine counterpart because they showed you something else. That's what evolving through love is. So if the trigger gets you angry, that's all good to go. Turn it around and look at yourself. Be self-accountable. Why am I getting angry? What is this really about? Because it's not about your divine counterpart. You can blame them initially if you want, but you know deep down it's not about your divine counterpart. It's all about you. And they're helping you. And you're helping them. Create from the 5D. Create from the soul. Create from the off the radar. Create from your heart. Because you deserve it all. Appreciate your inner divine masculine, or make your inner masculine, make it divine. Harmonize it with your inner feminine, make it divine. If you want a simple technique, it's called the pelvic. I have a video on accessing pelvic energy. I have also a reel on, it's called the pelvic pivot. It's a very simple technique that I was given that was divinely downloaded to me as far as helping to harmonize those masculine and feminine polarities energetically within the pelvic area in particular. And it can create spontaneous purging. I'm telling you. So I'll include those links in the description. I'm also including links for one-on-one coaching. Um, I'm going to tell you right now, transformative stuff, one-on-one coaching. And also I have an upcoming 8-week master course that's probably going to happen in February now. Undress your sacred sexuality, accessing full body Shakti. So it's either that right now I'm offering either the actually three offers for you right now. A one-off session called an active assistant session. I'm going to throw a link in there. If you have yet to book a strategy call, you can get on a free strategy call. Let's start with that. Let's just jump on and I'll give you access to a free training video to help you to better understand how you can be supported on this journey, especially if you have experienced sexual trauma. Then there's the one-on-one coaching known as the Reclaim Your Sacred Sexuality one-on-one coaching program. And then finally, again, as I began to mention, that 8-week master course, Undressing Your Sacred Sexuality, accessing full body Shakti, because boom to the boom to the boom, it's all connected. Sex, money, masculine energy, and twin flames. You got this. You got this. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, because here's the deal. We all want the opportunity to be able to move beyond fear and to be able to evolve through love. I love you so much. You have a beautiful one. Peace.